Hello, friends. Welcome to my new podcast episode. It's been some time since my previous one because I don't have many knitting news to share. In recent weeks, I was mostly focused on recording of video tutorials and on new hat designs. But I still got a few finished objects, a few finished hats, a new hat design to share, and also I've got a new caston, which is my new vest design. And also I'm going to share my Christmas jumper. So let's go ahead and let's start with the biggest project, which is two finished quiet season sweaters. Since my last episode, I completed my quiet season sweater in beige color. It's my second sample, and I plan to open a new test knit very soon. The pattern is ready. I shared this unfinished project in my last podcast episode. This is just basic, classic, oversized sweater with European shoulder long sleeves, and this is adult version of my child design, which I published a few months ago. So I'm not going to share many details about this one. I just wanted to mention that in this one I knitted my sleeves slightly longer, so the cuffs would pop up out of my cord sleeve. I like this effect. Normally I knit my sweaters with shorter or normal size sleeves, but I think it looks pretty and comfy and also warm when cuffs look slightly longer and visible under the cord. So this is completed sample, and it's adult version of my quiet season sweater. If you're interested to take a part in my test knit, just keep watching. Also, in my last episode, I showed finished sample, second sample for quiet season sweater, which I also mentioned that it was sweater with wrong gauge on my sleeves, and it was long story, but I completed the sweater and I mentioned that I want to transform this into the Christmas jumper, and I've done it. And this is my Christmas jumper. I never had a Christmas jumper before. Simply, we did not have this tradition when I was a child. And now as an adult, I feel it's not very good idea to buy a Christmas jumper, which you can wear just around Christmas and then going to keep it in your wardrobe for the rest of the year. So since I completed two samples, but this one I can't use for the pattern because of some problems, I decided to transform it into the Christmas jumper. As you can see, I decorated the front of this sweater with knitted Christmas tree. For this Christmas tree, I knitted 3 triangles in different stitches. I decorated them with beads and craft buttons and attached it to the front of my sweater. Then I decided to decorate the front with sequins in cream shade. Originally, I wanted to add just a few sequins around top of Christmas tree, but then I went a bit far and decorated the whole front. Honestly speaking, I don't know how to show the beauty and all those sparkles in the video, but it looks really beautiful and very festive. And if you probably seen or not, I recorded the full video tutorial for how I decorated the sweater. So if you're interested, you can watch this video. Maybe you can decorate some clothing from your wardrobe, or maybe from your child on children's sweaters or tops. It looks especially beautiful. I used this idea a few years ago for my daughter's Christmas top, which she needed for school. And so this year I decided to use this idea for my sweater. So this winter or this festive season, I've got a new Christmas jumper, and I really looking forward to wearing it. Again, it looks beautiful, and as you can see, you don't need much supplies. You just need a bit of time to make it, and all those bits are not really necessary. Christmas tree is the main part of decoration. I also interested to know, what do you think about this idea, this sweater, or maybe you've got more ideas how to decorate sweaters for Christmas. So please share your ideas in the comments below. Next finished project is my second sample of Winterberry Bucket hat, which I completed for my smaller daughter. I knitted this hat in size child, and for this hat I used the same yarn which I used for my first adult sample. The first sample knitted in size adult M or teen, and both hats knitted with drops Nepal. This is my favorite yarn for cables. It's soft, it's nice, it's easy to knit with, and I like it. I just removed the hat off my blocking mat. As you can see, I still haven't waved in yarn ends. For this project, I recorded the full video tutorial where I show how to knit hat from the cast on through the whole process. I showed every step, every stitch. I also shared a few tricks for how to knit, for example, 2 stitches together when it's difficult to knit. I showed how to close the last round of the crown. So if you haven't seen it, you can watch this tutorial, or maybe you can learn some new techniques or some new tricks. So this hat still need a photo shoot, and I think my daughter will be happy to have the matching hat with myself. The previous one is in size adult M, so I can share this hat with my older daughter, so my girls can wear the matching hats if they want. Also, what I wanted to share about this hat, it can be styled in 3 or 4 different ways. It can be styled as some kind of top hat with folded brim along the way. I think I already showed this last time. Yeah, like some kind of top hat with the brim up all the way around. Then it can be worn, can be styled as fedora hat with brim down at front and then with brim up on the back. Then it can be styled as a Panama hat with the brim down all the way around, or with brim up at front only, and it will be like another style of Panama hat. So my next project is another knitted hat. I designed this inspired by the Winterberry Bucket hat. This is Stitchvision Hat. As you can see, it has the same style, the same shape, but I would say it's easier to knit this hat because you can see it has no cables, no ribbon segments. The body of hat is knitted with gather stitch only. As I said, I didn't plan to design another hat for this season, but I was playing with yarn combinations and with stitches, and I noticed that gather stitch looks very beautiful knitted with mohair yarn, with strand of mohair added to any other wool yarn, and especially it looks beautiful in light shades. So I decided to try how it would look on my hat, on my previous design, and I created this beautiful design. I really like look of mohair. I used 2 strands of decay yarn held together with mohair yarn, and it is Aran weight. With or without mohair, the gauge should be the same, like Aran weight. So the hat knitted pretty tight in order to keep its shape. When we had a photo shoot for this hat, I decided to try it on my son, and I noticed that it looks very beautiful in a style of fedora hat on a boy. So he loved it as well and asked me to knit the matching hat for him too. So I agreed and I knitted a similar hat to him, but the hat, I just finished working on this hat and I haven't blocked this hat yet. So the brim looks a bit narrow, a bit stiff, but it will completely change after blocking. With this hat, I wanted to play with yarn a little bit to see how the hat looks with different textures, different yarns. So for this one, I used 2 strands of drop spuna, which is decay weight yarn as well, and 2 strands, it's mean Aran weight. And pattern is written, calculated, and designed for Aran weight yarn. As I mentioned, I recorded the video for Winterberry Bucket hat, and in the video I also showed how to block this type of hat. So if you interested or want to know how to block this type of hat, it's pretty simple process. You don't need any special tools or materials, just 2 towels to dry your hat on them. So please watch this video and let me know what you think. My next project is my new vest, my new vest design, which I started knitting recently. As you might know that I love knitting cables, but In recent months, I was mostly knitting simple stitches, simple small projects, and most of them were knitted in stockinette stitch or some textured stitches. So I really wanted to start a new project with cables, and here my new design in process. I really love knitting all sorts of cables, and I like to combine them with diamonds. In my pattern collection, I already got one vest with cables and with diamonds. This time I decided to knit another vest. I use the same diamond, but I'm using different cables. Often in my cable designs, I also like using textured stitches, but this time I decided to focus on knit and purl stitches mostly, so no textured stitches such as moss stitch or grid stitch, just cables, purl background, and simple cables. And I'm knitting my vest with woven alpaca soft decay. I like working with this yarn. It's in some kind of beetroot shade or burgundy. Don't know how to call this shade correctly. There is no name of the shade on a label. Yes, there is no name of the shade. I can't even see it. Yeah, there is just shade number 207, and it is virgin wool 70% and 30% of alpaca. And yarn changes a lot after blocking. It became even softer and prettier. I blocked my samples, and it doesn't change size, so it's quite easy to calculate the finished garment or finished project. And yeah, it looks very beautiful after blocking. I already completed quite a big part of my back of the vest. I'm going to knit a vest with a long deep armholes, with round neck, which will be not very deep. And I think I going to start shaping for armholes probably in a few centimeters. I hope I will be able to finish this design pretty soon. It's knitting quite quickly, of course, when I've got time. My knitting speed normally is about, if I've got time to knit, my knitting speed is about 150 gram skein per day, so pretty fast. I already knitted one skein of this yarn and started the second one. So I hope to complete this vest probably by New Year. Maybe it's very optimistic plan, but it's my plan because I don't have any other cast-ons on my needle. Of course, I plan some, but at the moment I've got just one project, and I really love how it looks in process. This is all my finished projects and my cast-on or my work in progress. And I don't have many plans. I've got plans, but they're changing so fast, so It's hard to say what I'm going to do next. I don't have list of plans. Of course, I've got list, but I never follow it. Also, recently I bought Drops Alaska mix to try. And I'm going to need another hat with this yarn. It is Aran weight yarn, color 65. And I'm going to need a Winterberry ear flap hat for my son. He requested one. I don't know why he need so many hats. It's probably my problem why I'm knitting so many hats for my children. So I'm going to need Winterberry ear flap hat, and I plan to record a full-length video tutorial for it. This hat might look a bit complicated because it has quite a few stitches. One of those stitches is this ribbon on a front band and those cables on ear flaps. But in reality, the hat is knitted pretty simple and fast, and I'm going to record the video tutorial to show how to knit every stitch, especially this ribbon on a front band and transition from stitch to stitch. Also, the hat is knitted with a honeycomb stitch, which looks like very simple two-stitch cables, and I'd like to show how to knit the stitch without cable needle. So I plan to start doing this video probably in a few days. We'll see how it goes. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Let me know what you think about my new hat designs. Please check my video tutorials. And until next time, happy knitting!